Oh, hey, sorry guys. Craft Services is on days off here. Jeez, that was a little cheesy. Anyways, howdy fellow Heli Huddlers. Welcome back to another episode of CMH's Virtual Heli Huddles, where we discuss all the aspects of CMH summer adventures. I'd like to start the show off today by acknowledging the local peoples of Western Canada. We at CMH recognize that we are privileged to operate in the traditional territories of the Ktunaxa, Secwepemc, Syilx, and Stoney Nakoda nations. So as they say in Ktunaxa, Kisu Kiyukiit, which means welcome. Now, I'd also like to recognize some more shout outs from our viewers across the virtual world. I see, let's have a look. I've got Nora from Switzerland. Hi, Nora. Nicholas from Montreal. Hi, Nicholas. Dr. Bob Jr. Greetings from Chicago. Hi, Bob. I got Rob. G'day, mate, from Down Under. Hi, right on. I've got Vern. Good morning from Victoria, BC. Hi, Vern. And Colleen. Hi from Manitoba. And lastly, there's Shannon. She loves these sessions, and she's looking forward to hearing more about our summer. Right on. Okay, well, I'm stoked to see everyone watching, but I'd like to take a couple of moments and introduce my co-host, Allie. Allie is our Employee Experience Manager and is the perfect person to recruit and hire our newest team members. Allie's been with us for 7 years now, and a fun fact about Allie, she sometimes likes trail running. Hi.
Hey, I sure do, Brody, as long as it's relatively flat terrain. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce my co-host, Brody. He's been guiding with CMH for 9 years now and is also the Assistant Area Manager at our Bugaboo Lodge. Fun fact, Brody is also an avid rock climber.
Well, I prefer the beers after rock climbing more than the climbing, but you kind of have to go climbing first, so there you go. On set with us today, we have two panelists rejoining us. I'd like to welcome back Eric, 34-year guide and manager of our guiding operations. And I'd also like to welcome back Peter, 24-year guide and area manager at our Kootenay operation. Wow, strange we're all wearing shades of green today. That's the color of summer.
It's a beautiful color. Mercedes and Alex will be joining us off camera to support the online Q&A. They'll be answering your questions as they come in, so feel free to keep them busy in the chat. We will also address some of your questions during Q&A at the end of the event. Now, just like other episodes, we will be asking you a skill testing question based on information in today's huddle. So from our friends at Gregory Mountain Products, we will be giving away a Stout 30 backpack. So keep your eyes and ears peeled because one of you will be the winner.
All right, exciting. Now, based on the theme of today's Heli Huddle, which is making CMH a part of your family vacation and also exploring some of our specialty trips, I'd like to reminisce about my favorite family adventure day. It was a beautiful bluebird day at the Bobby Burns. We flew the kids and the parents up into a magnificent alpine area with amazing views. We had a picnic, we listened to music, there was dancing and singing, and even a midsummer snowball fight. Back at the lodge, we got out the slip and slide and zoomed down the hill out back. We jumped in the pond and played in the gym. It was a full-blown day of fun. Let's take a minute and check out this awesome family video clip we have. Roll it. How about that water balloon fight? There's some seriously fun family footage right there. So, Eric, you've spent a lot of time over the years at CMH lodges during the summer with your family. Can you tell us why it's such a great experience for families?
Sure, Brody, I'd love to. Well, first, it brings back great memories of my own family at the lodge, and also all the many families that visited and I had the pleasure of being in the mountains with over the years. We know how kids may feel about hiking, so we actually removed all the boring bits to make lasting memory for all of you. Our lodges, they are in very remote, magical places, and we have this really cool tool called a helicopter, or the heli, that gets you to the lodge in the first place, and then it gets you to even cooler places in the mountain on every day that you are at the lodge. So both you and your children will love those daily heli flights. Personally, I just like the mountains itself there, the peaks, the geology of it all, the rocks. A really cool place to visit is the ancient glaciers are very cool. Everybody always likes the high mountain ridges where you see forever. Also the mysterious ancient forests, even when it's a hot day, it's nice and cool in there. And then there is tons of alpine lakes, and it's always fun to jump in and swim around in those things. And breathtaking waterfalls that everybody just loves. You can also go rock climbing with some of our world-class mountain guides. And then the kids' favorite every trip, of course, is the bum sliding or snowball fights. And we also have zip lines and we have ferradas. There simply is no boring moment ever. At the end of the day, you fly back to the lodge for appetizers and beverages and set up an appointment for a massage or simply relax in the whirlpool or in the steam room or have a sauna. And at the very end of the day, you have great dinners after a big day on the mountain. The dinners are always delicious. And it's topped off with dessert prepared by our own resident pastry chef. It's all about having fun together with your family and disconnecting from the day-to-day life. And also disconnecting from all the devices, except to take pictures with those things. What's most impressive for me is to see in only a few days the transformation in kids and adults alike, the appreciation for the pure mountain environment. It's not just visible, you can actually feel it. There's nothing else like it.
Cool. Well, sounds like the best family vacation ever, Eric. It's a pretty neat experience, and whether it's with your family or a group of friends, or maybe even your own private guide. But let's bring Ali and Peter back on to take us through some of our specialty trips. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, Brody and Eric. Well, I've never been on a family vacation quite like that before, but I have been fortunate to experience guided backcountry running adventures. So, Peter, can you fill us in on the alpine trail running trips planned for the Bugaboos this summer?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So CMH Bugaboos features some of the best alpine trail running terrain in the world. There's all these high alpine ridges that connect to side valleys and then to more ridges and more side valleys. And it's all ideal for trail running. And the best part about it, there are no crowds at all. So this coming summer, the trip is being run by CMH guides and avid runners, James Madden and Emily Compton. And some of you may know James as he's been guiding in the Bugaboos for several years now. Your itinerary, so the Heli Access trail running itinerary, look kind of like this. So, on your first day, you fly into the lodge, and then you'll be out for the afternoon. So on your first afternoon, you get a lay for the land, a bit of a warm up for the next couple of days of running. You'll cover 5 to 8 kilometers based on the preferences within the group and yourself. It's also a chance for everybody to figure out their equipment, and what flying the helicopter is all about, and of course, soak in the views. It's kind of like the first day of heli-skiing or heli riding. And on the second day, you'll start your morning with a stretching class. You'll have a big hearty breakfast. You can pack your lunch, pack some snacks, fill up your hydration pack, get ready to go for the day. The first groups usually leave around 9 a.m. and you'll fly into the mountains. And on the first day, you'll run maybe 10 kilometers with approximately 400 to 600 meters descent, which is 1,200 to 1,800 feet of ascent and descent. And you'll be taking breaks to the day as well. It's not like pound it all out in 45 minutes. We usually return to the lodge between 3 and 5 o'clock. And when you're back at the lodge, you can enjoy your pre-run refreshments and snacks. Go for a soak in the hot tub, or hang out in the steam room or the sauna. Get a massage, as Eric was mentioning. Or you can go to the stretch room or the exercise room and have a stretching session on your own. And then you have supper, of course. And then on day 3, you kind of expect the same routine. It'll be a bigger run, depending how everybody's feeling. So maybe 20 kilometers and up to 500 to 1,000 meters ascent and descent. It's kind of a rough guide. It really depends on you and how much or how little you feel up to for the day. The best part about this, we can accommodate a range of abilities, but you definitely want to be someone who's running regularly. Anyway, that's enough of me talking about it. We have this great little video clip we can show, and I think it'll describe it better than I can.
A lot of people are wanting to kind of move off the road, be a bit more exploratory and adventurous with their running, and this program definitely offers the peak of that experience.
We use a helicopter to fly us up in the morning, and we get to go running in the Alpine without having to slog all the way up. We can run beautiful alpine meadows and ridges.
You have the ability to access terrain that would be difficult to access by foot, run point to point, and have a really unique experience in a backcountry lodge at end of day.
If you have a sense of adventure and you feel like you can reasonably run and you're just willing to have a positive attitude, I think this could be for you.
It creates an accessibility and an approachability to the activity of trail running and to mountain running that hasn't really existed before.
I think what makes it really unique is we have 900 square kilometers that we can fly out and use, and we basically have the place to ourselves.
The only people you're generally going to see all day is going to be your group that you're running with.
The terrain you could expect to run through here varies anywhere from alpine down into the tree line. Nice long alpine ridges all the way throughout a lot of the Bugaboo tenure.
What can you say? It's just, amazing.
Wow, Peter, you can just go ahead and sign me up. That looks incredible. Now, I know that trail running isn't the only specialty program offered. What other programs can you tell us about today?
Yeah, sure. So we have a whole number of different programs running, workshops running this summer. And there's trail running, which we already covered. And there's also a painting workshop, photography workshop, and a biomimicry workshop as well. Yeah, this is, of course, on top of all our summer adventure programs that Brody and Eric were talking about at the beginning. But let's bring Eric back on, and we'll talk about some of these unique trips. But I'll start by talking about the painting workshop. So this year, the painting workshop is led by artist and painter by the name of Mike Svab. And I've guided a couple of these over the past number of years, and they're awesome. So you'll head into a remote viewpoint or valley via helicopter with a small group of up to 9 people. And because we're using the heli, and if you're a painter, you don't have to worry about hiking long distances with your easel, your paint box, your palette, drying out in the sun or whatever. But when you're out in the field, Mike will then help coach you and the group on how to analyze and capture, your stunning surroundings. You could take, that instruction and then, refine it and focus it on your own interpretation and style. And depending on the group's desires, you'll likely go to 2, maybe 3 different locations during the full day trips. And one of the fun memories I have of the painting workshops was at the end of the trip, all the painters had a gallery down in the stretching room of the Bugaboo Lodge. And all of the guests that weren't partaking in it went down and took in all the artwork. And actually one of the pieces sold to a guest who wasn't on the painting workshop. And it was a really cool interpretive style of the houndstooth out the front of the Bugaboo Lodge, which is the big spire with the glacier coming down around it. Anyway, it's quite, anyways, it's just fun. Eric, why don't you tell me about the biomimicry workshop?
Thanks, Peter. Our biomimicry workshop, what does that even mean? Well, it is sustainable innovation inspired by nature. More specifically, biomimicry is focused observation of nature with the goal of harnessing the genius of nature to help solve human design challenges. So CMH is partnering with Biomimicry Frontiers owner Jamie Miller on this workshop. And what better classroom to learn from? I mean, we have the perfect setting with our mountains around the lodges. So Jamie will take you back to nature before really grounding you in the ideas of biomimicry. For example, we would take you up into a high alpine in places where it seems unsurvivable and you find mosses and lichens, and we will dissect and figure out why that is and what can we learn from it and how can we take that into our professional or personal lives. So we are basically teaching you to look at nature differently. So each day there will be sessions in the field where you will not be moving too quickly, but learning from and appreciating nature. I find it so fascinating how the answers to so many problems we face are right in front of us. Sometimes they're just hidden in this enormous landscape. You just have to open your eyes and mind and you will find the solutions you're looking for. Photographers are another group of artists inspired by nature. So Peter, you're also an expert on photo workshops. You seem to do most of those workshops. Can you tell us more about the photo workshops?
Sure, you bet. I have been involved with a few of them, but I'm definitely not a professional photographer by any means. But anyways, this coming summer in the Bugaboos, we have a photographer and workshop instructor by the name of Kali April. And she lives near Banff, and she specializes in mountain landscapes, working with interesting light. So similar to the painting workshop, the group will use a helicopter to fly out to access high vistas that you can take in the spires around the Bugaboos and the glaciers. And then you'll also be able to get to the remote side valleys that have alpine flowers in bloom. And the trip is running at the beginning of August, so that's just about the start or the mid of the flower season. You, as the hiking group, you'll hike with your gear. And again, depending on you and the group and what you see and what you get involved with, you hike as little or as much as you like. And similar, again, to the painting trips, you'll do 2, maybe 3 different locations during your full day. And if you're lucky, you get a variety of weather. As photographers, we all want bluebird days, but we know that time of year in August at midday, it washes everything out. So some of the really exceptional photos I've seen in the past have been, the moody photos of like the clouds and the around the mountains, and then of course like raindrops on these tiny alpine purple flowers. We can't always guarantee the weather will allow it, but the true highlight I think of that trip is getting to the golden hour of sunrise or sunset session, from a high vista.
Oh, thanks. Those seem to be such great trips. I actually still remember some of the sunrise flights we had. Next year, we actually work on another cool trip for 2022, which is called Alpine Appetit. And Peter, you are also a connoisseur when it comes to food. So what is that Alpine Appetit all about?
Yeah, I'm more of like a street foodie kind of person, I think. This one sounds really quite interesting. So it's definitely designed for the foodie or the Epicurean at heart that's looking for a little adventure as well. So the Alpine Appetit is a bucket list trip, which is combining the helicopter access hiking with an elevated dining experience. This exclusive trip takes like an already credible dining experience that we have in the lodges and raises it to the next level. So all of the dining experiences will be paired with a whole bunch of regional sponsors. And so we have, on the first night, we have Park Distillery, which is the award-winning micro distillery in Banff. And then we have the Fieldhouse Brewing Company, which is a farm-to-table brewery in lower mainland of BC. And then we have the Hester Creek Winery, which is an award-winning winery from all over BC. And if those of you don't know where that is, that's located in BC's Okanagan Valley, which is the wine growing region, and very much up and coming wine growing region in BC. Again, enough of me talking about this. We have a cool little video that we can show that explains it better.
Wow, those trips look like so much fun, you guys, and we really have so many exciting options to offer in the summer. But now it's time to turn the tables over to you guys, the viewers, and we're going to ask our skill testing question for today's huddle. So today's question, name 2 of the 5 specialty trips and workshops offered during our CMH summer adventures. Again, name 2 of the 5 specialty trips and workshops offered during our CMH summer adventures. Get on the live chat and throw in your answers, people. And again, to keep things fair for everyone who answers correctly, we are going to take your names and put them into a hat for Ali to draw a name from. So while we're waiting for responses and converting your digital answers onto paper, we're going to bring Peter back on the screen and run through our rapid fire questions. So Eric has already answered the rapid fire questions in a previous summer huddle. Ali is going to be sitting in the hot seat with Peter. All right, here we go. Ali, what is your favorite CMH lodge?
The Bugaboos. Thank you for asking. You just can't beat that hot tub view with the glacier and the spires in the background.
Awesome. And for you, Peter?
I'm going to go with the Caribous, and that's nostalgic because that's where I first started guiding with CMH, and the big mountains and the glaciers there as well. And then, of course, more recently, the new Via Ferrata that myself and a bunch of guides and Brody, yourself as well, helped build. So
awesome. Right on. Okay, next question. Ali, what is your favorite CMH meal?
Well, grilled salmon with roasted potatoes and broccolini paired with some sort of lemon-related dessert.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Peter, what's your favorite?
I'm going to go for the après ski snacks and the après hiking snacks. So the charcuteries, sliders, tacos, nachos, whatever. Love it.
Okay, wonderful. Next one, Ali, your favorite hike at CMH?
Well, I rarely remember the names, but any type of ridge walk with views of turquoise lakes and mountains would be my favorite.
Okay, and Peter, your favorite hike?
I will go with Kickoff in the Bugaboos, and that's because you land on the big rock slab underneath the Hauser Towers. You walk through these alpine meadows, past some lakes, and then up onto the glacier. Awesome.
Nice, right on. My favorite too. Okay, and our final rapid fire question. What does CMH mean to you, Ali?
Well, it means so many things to me, but I would have to highlight the quality of people that I get to work with. CMH recently won the Canada's Most Admired Corporate Cultures Award, something we're very proud of. And I think that it speaks volumes to the type of people who work here and also why there's so much longevity at CMH.
Okay, and Peter, for you?
I will go with just being able to work outside. I love being outside and love being able to share it with people. And it's just such a privilege to be able to show people what we have in our backyard. And I also will give a nod to Ali because, yeah, it's definitely a great team of people to get to work with.
Awesome. Right on. Well, thanks so much for those answers, you guys. Ali and Peter, that was fun. And a big thank you to Eric and Peter for joining us on today's huddle. We really appreciate having you on as guests, and we'll see you in just a moment. Now, it's time for the giveaway. We have reviewed the responses to the skill testing question to give away the Gregory backpack, and the correct answers to the question, which was name 2 of the 5 specialty trips and workshops during our Summer Adventures program. And the answers in any order are painting, photography, biomimicry, alpine apathy, and trail running. Okay, Ali, let's draw the winner's name from the hat.
Okay, we've got Hazel DeBerg. Congratulations. Please connect with us by phone or email. Our contact information is listed just below, and you can enjoy your new Gregory backpack. Awesome.
Right on. Congrats, Hazel. Okay, so Ali and I are going to take a couple of minutes to answer some questions that have come up recently. So once again, let's bring Eric and Peter right back on for this.
It's good to have everyone back again. So the first question is for Peter. What type of skill level is needed for the various workshops? I like the idea of painting a sunrise in an alpine meadow, but I'm wondering if my skills might hold me back.
Yeah, great question. So our workshop leaders are all able to cater to a variety of levels of experience. So in regards to the painting, whether you're a beginner or somebody who's has several canvases, canvases under their belt, we can find something that works for you, and you'll find it rewarding as well. You'll learn something for sure. And I would say this also goes for photography and the biomimicry workshops as well.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. And then the next question is for Eric. If I'm bringing my parents and teenage kids on a summer adventures trip, how does it work having varying fitness levels within my family? Would we stay together as a group?
Well, it is your family vacation, so it really is up what the group wants. And we certainly can keep the group together and work to do that. We could even have 2 extra guides in the group, so we can go to one place and hike at different speeds there. But also, if any of your group members wants to go markedly faster or take it really easy, we could also break them out and send them out with a different group. And then you would meet them again at the end of the day for the après and join Peter for his favorite meal, the après hike.
Okay, well, that sounds awesome. So I'm going to pass things back over to Brody for some additional questions. Brody.
Awesome. Thanks, Ali. I didn't realize you had teenage kids. That's very interesting.
Surprise.
Okay, so some other frequently asked questions that we get here. What level of fitness and experience do you need to join the trail running trip? Well, I can answer that one. I would say that I would certainly not make one of our trail running trips your very first run. I think you need to be a regular runner in your own time. And so you need to be running weekly and join 5 or 10K jaunts. And then this would be something of more of a real challenge for you towards the end. But we do have 2 guides in the running program so that if we do have different paces or different distances, we can break out into 2 separate groups in order to meet everybody's needs. Okay, next question or frequently asked question is, what is the altitude you are generally hiking at, and is it ever a problem? Why don't I hand that one to Eric?
Well, we hike in altitudes sort of, by the lodge is at about 4,000 feet or so, and then the ridges are 6,000 to 7,000 feet, and the highest we may go up as high as 9,000 feet. but nothing really an issue in terms of elevation. If you come from sea level, the day that you travel and then show up that first afternoon, you may feel it a bit still, but typically it's not an issue at all.
Okay, great. Thanks, Eric. Another one is, do you see much wildlife? Peter?
We do see a fair amount of wildlife, but what we try to do, we try to give the wildlife as much space as possible, so we're not displacing them from the habitat they want to live in. So if we have the opportunity to view wildlife from a distance, we will. And there's times in which you may get surprised, and there's going to be a large mammal closer to you than you expect. But there's lots of birds and small mammals as well. We generally see wildlife.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the last one here, are your lodges dog friendly? I can answer that. As much as we'd love you to have your pets join you on your trip, we are in a wilderness environment. And again, displacement of the local wildlife is something that we're trying to avoid. So at CMH, we don't allow pets to come on the trips, but you're going to be happy to see them when you get back home. Well, that's all the time we have for questions today. Now, to wrap up our summer episode, I'd like to tell you about our next huddle, where we take an amazing in-depth look at heli-skiing and heli-hiking gear. So on the 25th of March, we will have Keith, a new panelist and one of our longtime shop managers, on to talk about the best gear for the mountains and what to bring on your CMH summer adventure or heli-skiing trip. Well, it's time for us to say goodbye. So from all of us thinking of summer in our finest shades of green up here in the Great White North, cheers, and thanks for joining us on another fun, fact-filled episode of CMH's virtual Heli Huddles.